Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Legendary Leaders Podcast. I am your host, Coach Vet Jet, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with a phenomenal leader. She's a trailblazer. She's really teaching how to overcome burnout, how to continue to lead at with a strong presence in what you do. And I've seen her on social media platforms and she's amazing. I know she is blessing my life just through her message. And she is here today, and I am so excited. So I welcome to the stage Dr. Patrice Jackson, Dr. PBJ, and I'll let you introduce yourself. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, well, first of all, Coach Jet, thank you so much for bringing us together for this conversation. Thank you for the opportunity to continue sharing this message of disrupting burnout. I am Dr. Patrice Buckner Jackson, but you can call me PBJ. All of my friends do. And I will start by saying I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 25 years, mostly in higher education, mostly in student affairs. And I'll be honest, there's not a lot of professional goals that I set for myself that I didn't accomplish. And it almost cost me everything. I'm here to tell you that burnout almost cost me everything that means the most to me. So now I have the honor of traveling the country, sharing with educators and women in corporate America and people in healthcare of how to pour out purpose without living the consequences of burnout. Because burnout is a thief. It comes to steal everything that means the most to you. And what I find, Coach Jet, is it's not a lack of passion. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's not a lack of experience or skills or even love for the work. Wow. How do you continue to pour out yourself at that level without burning out? Nobody's teaching us that.
No one's teaching us that. And as I was telling you, Dr. PBJ, I think I'm suffering from burnout, right? Which is so critical. And sometimes I look around, like you said, you almost lost it all. I said, I cannot lose it all. After you achieve so much, after you're driven, after you set your goals. So what was that point, right? When you hit that wall, when you say, I almost lost it all, what did that point feel like?
Coach, I'll never forget it. It was August 2019. Wow. I had just gotten the biggest promotion of my career. So I was vice president of student affairs at a university. I had been in higher ed for 20 years. So you work up to this point, and all the mentors were like, oh yeah, you're going to be vice president one day. You can be president if you want to. And here I am. I have the whole division of people. I have the special parking space with my title on it, the beautiful corner office, the doctorate degree, the salary, all the things that we're taught. Go get that. Go get that. Go. I had those things.
Really?
August 2019, I could barely see for when I drove into work for the tears in my eyes.
Really?
I pulled into that parking space. I had to fix my face and put my makeup back on. Wow. Because I didn't want anybody to see me that way. I walked into our student center just like I always do. Good morning. How are you? Giving hugs. It was all I could do to get behind the door of that corner office, and I crumbled.
Really?
I remember holding on to the edge of the wooden desk because I didn't feel like I could hold my own weight up anymore. What I really wanted to do was crawl under that desk and lie there in the fetal position, because I knew if I opened that door, there would be a student who needed me. There would be a staff member who had a quick question, just a quick question. We need to stop saying that. It's never quick. It's never quick. Never.
Or it's always long.
Always long. Or a colleague who wanted to have a conversation. I had taught everybody in my life that I could be all things to all people, and they believed me. Wow. And I had nothing left. So when I could catch my breath, I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I tried to explain to him what was happening. He interrupted me. He said, go home. I'll meet you at home. Well, it was August in education. Our
Mm,
educators out there know that August is not go home time. August is not take care of yourself time. August is not put your feet up. August is not, just catch your breath. August is go time. I had a lobby full of students with problems. I had parents moving students in at that moment. The highway was full of cars, of parents bringing their students to us. All the things were happening. And I told my husband, I can't go home. And at some point I remember saying, I can't stop. I
wow.
I can't stop.
I can't stop.
Long story
Mm,
short, he said,
mm,
"I'll be home in 10 minutes. Meet me at home." I hung up the phone. I typed
mm,
a letter. I printed that letter. I went to where my president was in a meeting. And when that meeting was over and the door opened, I handed my president that letter and I said,
mm.
"I'm so sorry." I left that campus that day. And to this day, I've never been back.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I went home.
Oh.
I was home for 5 months.
Uh-huh.
No job,
No job.
no
Mm,
schedule. It was
really?
the first time I stopped
Mm,
in my memory. And even as a child, I had a full schedule. It was,
really?
and I realized I didn't even know how to stop.
Didn't, yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to stop. I didn't
Mm.
know how to be in a space where no one was looking for me or nobody was expecting me.
Wow.
I have to say this. I
Okay.
disappointed a lot of people.
Really? Okay.
There were students who had allowed me into their lives and allowed me to walk with them through trauma, and I didn't come back. There
Really?
were a whole division of people who believed in the vision and they were working hard, and their
Mm.
vice president didn't come back. There were
Oh,
people who had put their names on the line for me to be
okay.
references for me,
Wow.
and I quit my job with no notice.
With no notice.
So I've got to say, I know I disappointed a lot of people.
Mm.
And I truly believe that if I did not walk away that day, I would
Mm.
not have been able to leave under my own power. I truly believe somebody would have had to come get me. That's
Really?
what it was.
Wow. Okay, so this is man, that is powerful, right? And I think so many women feel like that, right? I know I have. I'm just going to be real with you. I
Yeah.
know I have, and it probably wasn't too long ago, maybe a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah.
And I totally respect what you did and how you had to do it. So tell me, and I could feel what you're saying. I could feel that you just had a sense of responsibility, especially in education. I feel the love and the passion you have for the students, for the faculty, for the staff, for your president. I feel that, right? And I think they felt it too. So, Dr. PBJ, tell me, how do you reconcile that after you're gone and after you know that people put their name on the line? How do you reconcile that within you to, one, be as public as you are about the burnout and keep pushing forward now when you're knowing, they're watching, they're seeing? How do you keep with your strong message with all that baggage?
Let me tell you something. Here's something that I learned about shame.
Ooh, teach
Shame
us.
will silence your voice.
Mm.
Shame will freeze you. You will not be able to move. It will make you immobile. And what I learned about conquering shame is the more you shine light on that shameful area, that shame cannot stay. Shame cannot live where the light shines. So
Ooh.
the reason why I tell my story and I speak it with such confidence, it's not a cocky, it's not a, I know that I impacted a lot of people by the decision that I made. And I know that I am not the only one who has made that decision or who was on the verge of making that decision. So I have a responsibility to tell the whole truth. We don't have capacity for the pretending anymore.
Mm.
Specifically speaking to professional women, we're tired.
We're tired. Yes,
We're
ma'am.
exhausted. We
Yes,
don't have
ma'am.
capacity for people to put
Yes.
on the show anymore, to
Yes.
pretend like everything is
Mm.
perfect and all
Yes.
is well. So I have to live in the space of
Yes.
truth. And the space of my truth is that in that moment, I disappointed a lot of people,
Okay.
put a lot of people in a tough situation.
Okay.
And
And
because of walking through it, and
mm,
because of the strategies that I learned by going through it,
okay.
now this message is freeing a lot of people.
Oh my
Have the
goodness.
responsibility. I can't keep it to myself.
You
And the
can.
people who I disappointed, Coach,
Mhm.
many of them have come back into my life.
Yeah.
Many of them are following this message. Many of them are encouraging me on. I couldn't see it then,
Okay.
and they couldn't see it then, but we all see it now.
We all see it now. Oh my God. You know what, Doctor? You're bringing to light so many things, right? So many things that go unheard, unsaid. And one, I'm glad you walked away. I'm glad you had the strength to walk away. Because if you had stayed, we may not be able to have this conversation to this very day. And I'll share my experience with you. I never will forget. One day it was a similar experience, and I was in a career field that I loved, that I was getting degrees in, and I was excelling in. But when I tell you, it was the worst and most toxic experience in my life. And I never forget going to the bathroom crying. And I said, okay, I got to get it together, because when I step back out, someone's going to need something, someone's going to want something, and someone's going to be coming for me. And so I never forget when I turned in my notice, and it was the best thing I ever did, right? And I don't know if it was burnout, bullying. Probably was a mixture of both, Dr. PBJ. It probably was a mixture of both. And it takes time to heal, and it
Mhm.
takes time just to breathe. And like you said, it is hard just to stop. So after you left, after you said, okay, I'm home now, I'm going to start this message, because you talked about the strategies. What's the strategy that you
Mhm.
implemented to get you going, to get that healing, to get out of that burnout, right? How did you get out of it? What's the strategy?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll start with this. When I first went home, I was angry. I
Mm.
was angry because I felt like all the people I serve and nobody saw me struggling. All
Ooh.
the late night calls, all the you got a minutes, all the can you say yes to this? Can you sign up for this?
Mm.
We need you. All of the people that I showed up for, and you mean to tell me nobody saw me going down?
Woo.
Nobody saw this moment coming.
Wow. Mm.
I speak of burnout as the cycle of burnout.
Okay.
And I need to say this because I need our listeners and our community to find themselves. Where are you in the cycle of burnout? So the first phase of the cycle is surviving. In surviving, you know it's too much. You know your load is heavy. You know you're literally just waking up and praying for strength to do it all over again. Just I gotta get out of this bed and I'll do it all over again. And there's no sense of relief. In surviving, you feel like you're on the roller coaster and you really wish somebody would stop the ride so you could catch your breath.
Mm.
That's surviving. If you don't do anything different in surviving, then you go to what I call overwhelm. And overwhelmed, the water level of your life is rising and you're fighting to keep your head above water. Where in surviving, you wear your mask well and you make it look really good. Like people who don't really know you don't know you struggling. You
Mm.
make it look really good. Like you can do this thing. You have taught yourself how to live in this space of carrying all this load and hiding it from everybody. But in
Mm.
overwhelm, that mask starts to crack and your
Wow.
body starts speaking to you. Your
Mm.
mind starts speaking to you. Your emotions start speaking to you. Your most critical relationships, all of the warning signs, the lights are flashing and the warning sirens are going off, but you don't know what to do. You
Mm.
know it's not working. You know you don't feel good. The headache that you keep pushing off, the muscle aches that you're going through, the systems in your body not really acting right, your most critical relationships, your children, your spouse, your partners, all your people. They're like, what is going on with you? What is happening? And
Oh.
you really don't know what to do. You're just stuck.
Mm.
If you don't do something different and overwhelm, then you go to the phase of burnout. And I define burnout as the automatic involuntary shutdown. Something
Wow.
breaks. Something breaks. For me, I did not go to work that day saying I was going to quit. It
Mm.
was not a plan. I'll be honest, things weren't perfect, right?
Okay.
So it was already in my head. All right, this ain't gonna last as long as I thought. I need to
Wow.
start thinking about transition. But I did not go to work that day saying I'm not coming back tomorrow. In that moment where my husband said, go home, something triggered. And my heart said, girl, go home. So in burnout, something breaks. A relationship, health. You walk away from a job, your mental health. Something breaks and it's public. You can't hide it anymore. You can't keep it under wraps anymore. And
Mm.
there are consequences and there's damage
Wow.
when there's burnout. So I need our community to find themselves in
Ooh.
cycles so that you know. And here's the question I always ask: how are
Okay.
you?
How are you? Mm.
No, for real.
For
How
real.
are you? Because coach, how often do we ask that question and we don't even wait for an answer? It's just a
Wow.
hello.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? How are you? And keep it moving. When was the last time somebody asked you and they waited for your real answer?
The real answer.
Not that I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Wow.
Fine is a mask word.
Mm.
Fine means
Yeah.
one, I don't even know how to tell you how I'm doing. Two, if
Mm.
I told you, what can you do about it? Three, do
Exactly.
you really care?
Yes. Yes.
How
Oh, wow.
are you?
How are you?
So let me
Ooh.
get back to your question.
No, this is good. This is good.
Let me get- so
I'm just sitting here.
listen, we can't play around with this message anymore, coach.
We
People
can't.
are losing their
Yeah.
lives.
Oh, when you said it, Dr. PBJ, and you said a couple things. I'll let you get back to answering the question. You said I felt it. I knew it. Everything wasn't perfect. You like it was already there. Like the signs were coming. And you know what? And I know you'll probably touch on this. Leaders have to make sure there are safe environments for everyone. And
Come on.
that's my biggest problem that I'm having right now with leadership, right?
Mm,
That it's not safe for everyone. It
yeah,
may be safe for some, but it's not safe for everyone. Oh my. And it is when I tell you that's burning me up, that's what's burning me up because it's tiring people like you, tiring people like me, tiring people like them. It's tiring people out and it's making people lose their mind and their capacity to be who God has called them to be.
that part.
Oh my goodness. Oh, if I could stand on the hilltop, that would be, I would say, get it together
Yeah.
now. And I mean, sit down somewhere. Oh, yeah.
Listen, well, this is our hilltop today.
Oh,
Let
yes.
this be our hilltop because what's
Yes.
happening is we are losing our most passionate leaders. We are losing our
Mm,
most qualified, experienced, equipped leaders
yeah.
because the ones who don't give you everything, they
Mm,
don't care.
they don't care.
They're
Exactly.
not going to allow you to treat them any kind of way. They're
Yes.
not going, but the
Oh,
ones who you go to, your go-to people, the ones you
yes.
call, the ones you
Yes.
lean on, the ones you give all the work to, not the accolades, not the attention, not the
Yes.
validation, but the work, the ones that you give all the work to. We are
Yes.
losing our most powerful leaders
Yes. Oh,
because
my
they're
goodness.
tired,
They're
not because they don't care.
Mm,
Not because they don't have passion for the work,
right.
not because they're not all in. It's because they're exhausted
They're exhausted.
and they don't know what else to do.
Mm,
And until we learn two things: one, we need compassionate leadership.
yes.
Compassionate doesn't mean that you demean me or pat me on the head or try to make me feel good. I don't need you to make me feel good. I need you to honor me as a human being. I
Yes.
need you to hear my voice and honor what I bring. Right? So
Yes.
we need compassionate leadership.
Mm.
But the other part that we have to address is, as leaders, we need to be compassionate to ourselves as well.
Oh.
Because what I did, Coach Jet, is I showed compassion to my people, to my
Okay.
team,
Hmm.
but I didn't show the same compassion to myself. So when I said take care of yourself, but they
Okay.
didn't see me taking care of me, then there was a contradiction in what I was saying and what I was offering to them. So
Ooh.
instead of just saying to your people, take care of yourself,
Okay.
instead of just saying that they're valuable to you, show
Mhm.
them you value you first.
Okay. Ooh.
Show them how
Oh,
they should be taking care of themselves. Show them how to
yeah.
put what I call powerful community. We need powerful women in leadership. We
Yes.
need powerful community. We need counselors, therapists. We need coaches. We need
Mm.
community of other
Mm.
women who lead that can
Ooh.
be trusted.
Trust it. That's it. That's it.
It's
Mm.
rough in these leadership streets.
It's rough out here. You hear me? It's real rough.
Ma'am,
Woo.
we need a space that we can show up. You don't have to perform. You
Yes.
don't have to wear your mask. Actually, we
Yeah.
don't want your mask up in here. We
Don't want your
don't
mask.
come. We don't need that, because
Ooh.
guess what? You are brilliant without it. You're
Yes.
powerful. You transform complete organizations without your mask. So we don't need that here.
Dr. PBJ, speak that. Speak that.
We need a space that we can just show up and be.
Just be. Oh my goodness. You know what? And I never thought about it from the perspective of caring about yourself, right? Showing that first. So what is the strategy? Because Dr. PBJ, I never forget it, probably 3 years ago, when I tell you I put myself on a timeout. I said,
Mm.
I am putting myself in a corner. It's not mommy time. It's truly Yvette time. I'm going to put myself in a corner. Of course, my corner was in Florida on the beach, right?
Yeah.
I put myself in a corner in a room by myself where my kids were safe and they were there with my friends. Thank God for trusted people, like you say, because they
Yes.
knew I was breaking. They knew I was breaking. And I went to my corner and I got myself together.
Mm.
So, what is the strategy you recommend
Yes,
for
ma'am.
women getting themselves together, taking care of themselves? Because a lot of us don't know how to do it, Dr. PBJ. We don't know what that looks like.
Mm. Okay. So here I teach what I call heart work strategies.
Mm.
It's not time management. It's okay, but it's not enough. It's not resilience. You don't need another person to teach you how to be resilient. You know how to fall and get back up. You know how to stand in the middle of a storm. I think you've had to be resilient too often. It's not resilience. And friend, it's not work-life balance. It's not, because when you think about work-life balance, you're trying to carry all of your things all at the same time, and you wonder why you're tired. The heart work strategies go deeper than that. First of all, I need you to check your baggage. Here's what I mean. All of us carry this invisible backpack. If you study through DEI, you know what I'm talking about, right? But in this invisible backpack is every experience you've had, every lesson you've learned, formally or informally. You picked it up along the way. Your bag is full of standards, beliefs, and ideas that drive your life on a daily basis. When was the last time you looked in that bag and determined what is still in alignment with who you are today and what you need to set aside? There are old lessons and old ideas that you've picked up that people have given you along the way, and they determine how you show up. I got to work 10 times harder for
Ooh.
less money. Or if I don't do it, nobody else will. Or in order to show that I'm valuable, I have to always say yes. What are those lessons that
Ooh.
you've carried in the back of your mind, in your invisible backpack, that are
Yes.
driving you to burnout? So you
Ooh.
got to check your baggage. Number two, you got to build some boundaries that work.
Ooh, okay.
Not some cute social media. No, no, no. Your boundaries are not a fad, they are safety.
Mm.
Who controls who or what has access to you?
Okay.
Access to your thought life, access
Okay.
to your emotional life, access
Yeah.
to your gifts and your talents, access to your time. Who controls
Who
who or
control?
what has access to you? You cannot build a boundary that works until you identify what
Okay.
you are unwilling to lose.
Mm.
Coach Jet, we have to start drawing a
Woo.
line.
Draw
We
the
have to start
line.
drawing a line. I gave up my health.
Mm.
I gave up my family relationships. At
Really?
some points, I even gave up my faith. I gave up my morning practices and my time to work and serve. I was serving. You couldn't tell me I was not doing
Really?
God's will. You cannot
Mm.
tell me. And yes, there's nothing wrong with serving, but the way that I was serving,
Okay.
the
Okay.
way I had no boundaries around what meant the most to me. So I was
Ooh.
sacrificing everything in the name of the job.
Really?
You've got to build boundaries around what means most to you. And it can't be everything. If everything is valuable, nothing is.
So you said, Coach Vet, don't everything ain't valuable.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Everything ain't
No,
valuable.
everything, if everything is valuable, then nothing is. So what are
Mm.
you unwilling to lose? At
Ooh,
your last breath, what do you want to look around and say, yeah, we held on to it?
we held on to it.
So that's, you got to build your boundaries on what means most to you. And the last strategy, and this is the secret sauce. I need y'all to hear my heart. You have to discover your brilliance. What is your innate, unique brilliance? Hear me. There's a brilliance on the inside of you. You didn't learn it and you did not earn it. And it is the way that you transform a room. And you don't get brilliance when you get the degree one day. You don't get brilliance when you get the special job one day. You've been brilliant all of your life. It pours out of you without you even trying. And actually, we don't put value on it because it's so easy for us. You think just because it's easy for you, it's easy for everybody else. But here, friend, I'm here to tell you, you have a brilliance like nobody else. There's something that you bring to the team, you bring to the department, you bring to the institution, you bring to the company like nobody else. And people may say, well, if we leave, we'll just replace you. They'll never replace you. They might put somebody else in the position, but there is no replacement for your brilliance. They'll never get that brilliance again. What
Woo.
is your innate, unique brilliance? It's
What is
not your job description. It is
mm,
not your job title. It is
wow.
not your salary. Your brilliance is about your being, who you are. And
Mm,
once you know who you are, the doing comes easy. We
mm.
got it twisted. We focus on our
Woo.
doing. We focus on the titles that people give us, the positions that they give us, the degrees that we get. And we're grateful for all of that. But
Yes.
all of that, those are just expressions of your brilliance. Who are you, friend?
Ooh.
What do you bring to the room? When you know your brilliance, you don't have the need to overperform, to
Okay.
overwork, and overachieve because you know just being in the room, you just brought power in the room. You need
Ooh.
to discover your brilliance.
You know what, Dr. PBJ? I mean, so many things are running through my mind right now, right? And I'm just going to be real because this, like you said, this is our hilltop. Black women in particular have been taught you have to be 10 times better. You have to be 10 times faster. One, when I'm too fast, I keep making mistakes, right? I can't keep catching my errors, right? And then when I'm trying to be 10 times better, I'm exhausted because it's out of boundaries. I can't function 10 times better because my best is amazing, right? Oh my God. So, Dr. PBJ, how do we continue to draw back from that? And honestly, inch back from that 10 times, right? 9 times, eight, and take it all the way back to being realistic. Because the truth be told, one, maybe they're just making us believe that. Maybe we're falling into that. I don't know where that would be a great topic, right? I don't know why we have subscribed to that notion, right? And
Mhm.
how can we stop it? Like, you know how like we unsubscribe to a lot of you got too many subscriptions. How do we unsubscribe to that and
Yeah.
still keep our job?
Come on. Okay. So
Hmm.
here is my theory on where it comes from.
Okay.
The trauma is locked in our bodies. Let me tell you
Oh,
what I mean.
okay.
Women who came before us,
Mm.
generations before us, rest was threatening to their life.
Okay.
Like it wasn't, there was not a conversation of rest. It was no
Mhm.
option of real rest, because sleep and rest are not the same thing, right?
Okay.
People may
Okay.
sleep but they may not rest. So when you come from a bloodline of women who
Mm.
were not given permission to rest, who
Ooh.
who it would threaten their very lives if they would even think about rest. What we don't understand is trauma traps in your cells.
Ooh.
There is research that will show us that trauma is trapped in your body. Now, here's the power of that. If
Okay.
trauma is trapped in my body, as I bear seed, I'm passing on those cells.
Doggone
As
it.
I
Really?
conceive and I bear seed, I am passing on those cells, and whatever's in that cells passes on to my child. So it's the nature and the nurture. It's the nature
Woo!
of I'm passing on what's in me and all that I've ever known, but also that's what I'm showing you too. I'm
Ooh.
showing you that we don't have permission to rest. I'm showing you that my very body is how hard I'm willing to work, or my very
Ooh.
value is how hard I'm willing to work, right? So
Real.
we had these lessons passed down to us physically, but also mentally. So, how
Mm.
do we address it? We have to start speaking truth to it. I
Ooh.
call it head, heart, hands, right?
Mm.
The head is the awareness. So
Mm.
people who are listening to us today, they're becoming aware so that they can start asking questions like, you know what? There might be something to that. Because when I think back to my mom or my grandma or my big mom or my great great grandmother and look at how they worked, and whether they were in the home or outside of the home, how they worked and what was passed down to me, that's awareness. You start thinking about it. But awareness is not enough, because just because you know better doesn't mean you do better.
Mm.
So we are aware. From awareness, in order to get it into your hands, action, you got to believe it. You got to start believing something different. You don't do what you know, you do what you believe. Right? So, in order to make the change, and we've been taught this differently, we think just because you know better, you do better. No, you don't. It doesn't go straight from head to hands, it goes head, heart, hands. You got to change what you believe about who you are and your existence on this earth. And the way that you change that is by speaking truth to yourself. That's why
Mm.
affirmations are so important. That's why
Ooh.
they are powerful. You will have what you say and what you believe.
Yes.
So, as we become more aware of what's in our backpack, we have to address those
Mm.
lessons by speaking truth to them. Speak
Wow.
to yourself like you would speak to your best friend. Speak to
Mm.
yourself like you would speak to your daughter. I had a friend, Coach Jet. We were
Oh.
on Zoom and we were having a meeting, and I
Uh-huh.
said something about myself. She said, she's like, don't you talk about my friend like that.
Ooh.
Don't
Don't
you don't you talk about my friend
you?
like that. And it kind of surprised me. At first I laughed. I was like, you know what, you're right.
That's it.
We got to talk to ourselves differently. We need to address ourselves according to who we really are, not according to who people have told you you are.
Oh my good. You know what? That backpack is something powerful. Head, heart, hands is amazing. Oh my goodness. And you said, because you said if you're familiar with DEI, then you know what this is.
Yes,
That could be why they're trying to push that out,
child.
because it becomes awareness. You're speaking truth to power, right? And you're speaking to so many head, hearts, hands, and that I didn't even look at affirmations as being that powerful. I'm looking at it. I'm going to be real, Dr. PBJ, as something cute. Like I'll say it if I can. I'll get one day. I'll how every now and then you're like, oh, I need an affirmation for the day. I am great, and that's my affirmation.
Mm.
And you said the cells. Doctor, when I think about the cells, when I think about my mom, my grandma, when I think about me and what I've passed down to my children,
Yeah.
right? changing those cells. And I hope I'm so glad you're teaching. I'm so glad you're using your platform, because it's the awareness that will change things. And I don't want to take, because I could talk to you all day. Like, I could talk about this all day. Oh my God. But I want to talk about your book before we run out of too
Mm,
much time. I want to talk about your book because I've
mm.
seen it out there. I know it's on pre-order. I want people to have your book, and I want your message to be spread, because we can change those cells, and we
Yes.
can change the nature and the nurture of what we're doing.
Mhm.
And we could still, from what I'm hearing you say, and you tell me if I'm reading this wrong, we can have what we want without burning out.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you're teaching that message, because Dr. PBJ, I don't want to burn out, right? I don't want to burn out. I don't want my kids to burn out.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose what's valuable to me. So I take this personally, right? This is about me right now. So I
Yes, ma'am.
don't want to lose it. So how can we get your book? Tell us about
Mhm.
your book and when we can get a hold of that book so
Yes,
we don't
ma'am.
burn out, Dr. PBJ.
Well, listen, I'll say this: just like we can pass down trauma, we can pass down blessing.
Ooh,
We can
yes.
change it. We can
Yes.
change it. Even my child is 24,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And starting now,
Okay.
I can show her something different and walk
Yes.
with her so that she can have something different. The book is available now.
It
It's
is.
available wherever books are sold online. I would encourage you to go
Yeah.
to
Okay.
disruptingburnoutbook.com. If you
Okay.
go to disruptingburnoutbook.com, you can find all the ways that you can order it. It has been a number one Amazon bestseller in several categories.
Yes.
It has been a number one Amazon new release several times.
Ooh.
So folks are ordering the book. And listen, there's only so much we can give you in this short amount of time. We
Yeah.
we can't say it all, and you can't even receive it all in this short
Oh.
amount of time. You need to get this book so you can do the hard work. It is
Mm.
time for you to get your breath back. It is time
Yes.
for you to
Mhm.
recognize your brilliance and show up in that brilliance and know even what you want. Most
Okay.
professional women don't even know what they want. We just
Really.
chasing. We're chasing.
Really.
We think, what are they willing to give me?
Mm.
Who's willing to hire me? Who's willing to contract with me? What are they willing to give me? I want to challenge you, sis. What do you want?
What do you want?
Let's start there. What
Mm.
do you want? Because that want is connected to your innate brilliance. You didn't just make that up, it's who you are, it's in you. And as soon as you start to acknowledge that and structure your life according to what you want, I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds pie in the sky, but I'm here to tell you I'm a witness and I'm in community with women who are witnesses as well. What do you want? You need to get this book. Disrupt, not because I wrote it, friend. Listen to me. I am not attached to the number of people. I'm not attached to numbers. What I'm attached to is this transformation. I know that even though it took me a year to write this book, it took me 25 years to live it.
Mm.
And I pray and I believe that my legacy will be that women don't have to experience what I experienced in order to be free.
Mm.
That you can receive my lessons
Yes.
and you can get free right now
Mm.
without having to walk through the consequences of burnout yourself.
Oh.
You need to get this book
Mm.
because it's time. It's time for those chains to fall off. And
Mm.
it's time for you to show up in this world as who you are, not according to what people expect you to be.
Oh. Dr. PBJ, I feel that message so strong, and I'm glad the book is out. And it's one of those books you can give your friend, right? And when I say your friend, give it to yourself first,
Yeah.
and then give it to another friend. And I love what you said, because you said we're our first friend. We're our first friend, and until we get in the heart of who we are as our friend, we'll never be okay.
Mm-mm.
We'll never be okay. So although I hate that it took that journey, but I'm grateful that it took that journey, because you're here now blessing so many women, and I know it won't stop here, and it doesn't stop here. And it's a powerful message. It's powerful and it's beautiful, and you're saving someone's life, because we've seen it in the news that women are taking their lives left and right. Women are losing their minds left and right. So through your message, right, through your message, you're bringing back the hope. You're bringing back the blessings. You're bringing back the synergy, and you're bringing back the breath. Oh my God. That right there, it gave me my deep breath for the day. And so, Dr. PBJ, I say thank you. And like I said, I could talk to you all day. I know. I know. I know you have things to do, and I know I have things to do. But I'm asking you, please come back and join me again another time, because I would like to hear how your journey progresses and how you continue, and just the case studies that you'll gather along the way of the women and men that you're blessing, and
Mhm.
the things you're taking out of that backpack. And hopefully we can get DEI to stay a little while longer, right? And just do a few more things that will bring
Yeah.
awareness to what we need. So in closing, what one tip, one lesson, if you had a toolkit and you said, this is the one thing I wish I knew earlier. So
Yeah.
this is what I want you to know. What's that one thing you would want for our audience to know that you didn't know in the beginning?
Yes, ma'am. I want folks to know that you need to learn how to rest.
Mm.
Intentional rest. Hear me. Sleep and rest are not the same thing.
Okay.
And you can't wait until your life to be less busy or the demands to be less for you to rest. You have to practice
Mm.
intentional rest.
Intentional rest.
Your mind needs rest and your body needs rest. Rest is not a reward. I
Mm.
want you to think of rest like water and food. You cannot make it without it. Your brain cannot function without it. And there's some keys in this book about having intentional rest. But if you don't learn anything else, I need you to learn how to truly rest, because you can't even access your brilliance if you're exhausted. It's
Mm.
time for you to rest.
It's time for you to rest. Dr. PBJ, we're getting the book, and we're getting the book today.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
love it. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being with me, being with the audience. I know that you have blessed so many women. Because I'm the first one to say you have blessed me this morning. And I really believe that God knows what we need and when we need it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to tell you that, like, when I started this podcast, it's because my heart just wanted to talk to people. As I want to talk to people, I want other people to know what I talk about, because I think it's cool when I talk to people. So, and you've confirmed that God is moving this thing in the right direction.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and so thank you. Thank you for building a community. And now we're friends for life. Just so you know, you got new friends.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I love it.
You got a new friend. So if you talk to me once, we're friends for life. Just so
Yes, ma'am.
thank you so much for being with me. Audience, thank you so much for joining. And please run out and get the book by Dr. PBJ. And not only you get the book, but get the book for two of your other friends that you know need it, that truly aren't telling you how they feel. That when they say, oh, I'm fine, that's not the whole truth.
That's
There's
right.
more to it. And if they don't want to tell you, let them read the book, because it's going to bless their life, save their life, and bless the generations to come, right? That's the legacy we're leaving. And that's why Dr. PBJ is a legendary leader. Oh my God, she's a legendary leader. And
Mhm.
make sure you get her book. But audience, like I say, if you can't do anything else, if you can't do anything else in life, don't be ordinary, be legendary. When you have nothing else to do and you don't know where to turn, be legendary. But audience, thanks for joining. Thanks for being my friends and listening today. And everyone, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.